I'm interested in looking at interagency policy development and policy making systems in the federal government. And I'm specifically focusing on the National Security Council staff and the National Security Council system as an interagency policy making body for inquiry. John Kingdon wrote about the policy making system, and he wrote about how policy options develop. And he described the policy stream that's flowing. He described policy windows of opportunity. And I wanted to try to illuminate that a little more. So how actually does this policy stream work? What's behind that? What's developing these policy options that are waiting for someone to pluck out of this stream? And I thought that the National Security Council staff, because it has been around for so long and because it is active every day in this interagency policy making world, would be an interesting line of inquiry to try to further illuminate these theories that Kingdon has put forward. As I got into looking at this, I really learned that the people who are doing the grunt work, so to speak, on the National Security Council staff are people like you and me, ordinary people from across federal government, to include the Department of Defense and the military, who are assigned to the National Security Council staff on a detail for 1 or 2 years, where they are in charge of different areas for answering questions and developing policy options for our national level leaders, the President of the United States himself, in fact. And in reality, what happens is these people who are in charge of developing policy options really have no specific authority in the interagency environment. They're responsible to go and seek out information from interested departments and agencies in the federal government, get their input either directly or by convening meetings, and come to some sort of consensus on policy options that would be acceptable across the federal government, and then advance those up through the hierarchy of the National Security Council system for ultimate decision by the President if that's required. In my own course, Strategic Leadership, studying the National Security Council staff allows me to give some context to the students, some examples of the sorts of issues and the environments in which they'll work in the joint or interagency environment in their roles as strategic leaders or advisors to strategic leaders when they leave the Army War College.